Hey everyone, today we're talking about Dragon Ball Z. Today we're doing a little different.
That's because we're in a new saga.
Yeah,
Which one is it, Jared?
This is this, and well, I guess it depends on who you talk to. Imperfect Cell or Cell Saga, depending on who you talk to. Because there are many different charts on these.
We'll call it Imperfect Cell.
So episode 140, which this episode starts with Gohan and Trunks flying, which is funny because that's his mentor in the future, and so I'm sure Trunks is having a great time. And Gohan, what's funny is they both probably have admiration for the other one, and they both it's just like Gohan's like, wow, this guy's so cool, and then Trunks like, this guy's so cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and so we get a little more backstory that this time machine arrived here 4 years ago, which is a year before the Trunks fight with Frieza, and so then it's Trunks is deducing. He's like, Nancy Drew here. He's really connecting all the dots. He's like, that means it came here before me. Yeah. This thing is the thing. The fact this is here is what changed history. It must have made the androids stronger. I don't understand why that's the case.
Yeah,
it did change, but I mean, Trunks also went back in time, so why is he not guilty of that?
I mean, also he confirms that's the same one because he wipes off that there's the hope sign that his mom put on there. So it is not like there was a separate time machine that was made. Trunks goes into the ship and finds this little pod that has goo in it, basically. Which I want to be honest. If it's been 4 years, I don't know if the goo would have been there, but whatever. You wanted to have this imagery of Trunks touching this little egg thing that had goo in it.
My instinct would have been, it seems like Trunks came back another time or something. Like what happened 4 years?
There's two Trunks flying around.
Yeah, or something. It's interesting they know something else. There's another threat, basically.
Also, because I put it on here, this is the episode where Kami officially says that he feels another evil energy, but he doesn't want to fuse until he understands it. Fun, right? Whatever, but dumb. Why do you need to see the threat? Just fuse. You know there's a threat out there. He's like, let's wait. Wait for what? And just fuse.
And in retrospect, you're supposed to know that. To me, it's just again, as a kid, I was like, oh, I guess he's worried about 16. Why would you assume there's something else?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's Dragon Ball Z, there's always something else. There's 9 out of 10 there's always another thing hidden somewhere. We're at 141. This is where 18 goes clothes shopping in... What?
Makes fun of Southerners, calls them Hicks. Yeah, it's a Hick town and stuff. Not really PC, 18.
I mean, it makes sense. She's teenagers, doesn't really care. Once again, similar to when they fight the bikers or the gang, I think it's just a filler because there's no real fight this episode. They just need to put something in there to have action because kids get bored.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the alternative is that they're on the way to find Goku, but how could they know exactly where he is? They're taking their time. It's a game. I think it works, and it shows. It actually, while this other threat's emerging, the threat of the androids is definitely waning. I think they just seem less vicious each time you see them on screen.
Well, and also they don't know what Goku is, so until they do, that'll be a thing. But we do get to one of the best, oh man, I just love how this is. They go into a news report, and it's just people are disappearing, but the clothing are being left behind, which is something we've never seen. So is someone using Dragon Balls to wish these people away? But how would that be working or whatnot?
The rapture is happening.
Yeah,
horror movie aspect.
Yes, I think that especially if we ever got a film, man, I feel like these scenes would be some of the scenes that really start shining and
Trunks is the only one who goes off to find him, which I thought was interesting. Everyone else waits behind, even though they don't know. Why is there any reason to think?
Well, Trunks feels probably responsible for it, and everyone else is just well, we don't know what's going on. But this is also where Piccolo Kami finally agrees. He finally understands the threat and fuses with him, which then allows Piccolo to go to confront him. Which I kind of forgot about this. Piccolo was kind of a goat for over 10 episodes. I thought it was just a couple episodes. No, he's actually the most powerful person for a couple of episodes, which is kind of cool. So I like the fact that Piccolo gets there. It's this total vibe that is different from most of Dragon Ball, and it ends with him being this big bug-like creature.
And on the horror movie vibe, when he's going out there, I rewatched this because I wanted to see how long. It's 2 minutes of no dialogue and just really horror movie-esque music. And panning to the silhouettes of Cell doing different things. And it's really, I think even in the Namek saga when it feels really slow, I don't think 2 minutes is a long time to not have a word.
I think this is building up anticipation for this character. This version of Cell is my favorite looking. I like the bug look. I like the tail. I think I like the tail a lot. I like the fact that he has a tail to fight and it fits with his character. And
looks too much like a bird.
Kind of. He does have the weird beak thing.
Yeah, I don't like the beak thing.
But in general, I like his head design. I like that.
I hate his voice in the dub.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, and it just feels like a bait and switch. It's just like, why do I care about this guy? Go fight 17.
Yeah.
The end of this episode, still, and as a kid, I remember thinking it's like Piccolo now has all this new strength. He can't go confront the Frieza right away, which I assumed was 17, 18.
Yeah.
So he's got to go fight like a henchman. And so I assumed this character was a henchman.
Yeah.
And it was going to be Kui or something.
Yeah.
It's so the timing of when this enters is really interesting.
It's also interesting to think. I kind of forgot this. It's not Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks. It's Piccolo who's the first person to meet the main villain of this entire arc.
Yeah.
It's Piccolo.
Guardian
Guardian.
Technically it's some dude in Ginger Town. But
But and then so now at 142. This is I kind of was like putting together why I think it was Piccolo doing this. Piccolo senses when Cell's kind of powering up, he senses that the energy is both like different but also familiar. And I feel like Piccolo's one of the only people that would really pick up on that super quick. Like Piccolo is one of the more intelligent fighters, so I feel like that's why they sent him here is because they needed someone that could like Vegeta was not smashing it. Like Vegeta would not talk to this guy, so you needed someone who would actually also have a conversation with Cell to get explanation out of him and like also give us a little bit more like the hints of what's going on. Cell's just holding this old man. This old man is just begging for his life. Cell's just holding him as they're having a conversation for a long time, not like a minute, for minutes, and then finally just like whoosh, puts into him and just drains him in front of him. And man, I don't know if you could get away with this anymore. It's pretty awesome. I mean, it is pretty much like a rated R horror movie. Like his skin becomes like a suit, and like he just disappears. It's pretty cool. Like it's insane they got away with that. Like back in the day, even like.
And the Guardian of Earth is just watching it happen, which is kind of weird. But while Cell's powering up, as you said, the mechanical music, his theme, I know it's a fan favorite, and the Bruce Falconer dub, we love it. Like
also the noise, the kick, the noise he makes when he walks. Yeah. Everyone knows the Cell noise. Like Cell is a bit. They were on point at this point with the music, sound design. This is where they were. I don't want to say peaking, but they understood the assignment at this point on how sound was looking in this show. And it's just great, all around.
I totally agree. I mean, again, it doesn't last long because it's only for this first form, but it's great. Vegeta senses, so it comes to each person sensing it.
I was going to say, I like this whole scene with all of them because I like all the reactions.
Did you know, specifically when Vegeta says, I sense that must be Frieza and his dad, it's actually like a reprise of the King Cold theme.
Ooh, I like that.
Which is cool music.
And what I like about that is like stuff like Piccolo can't. He's sensing kind of like other things. I feel like it's almost like the Rorschach test. Yeah. Everyone sees what they like want. So for Vegeta, it's Frieza and Frieza's father who he was closest to out of most of those people. I love Vegeta's reaction and I love 17's too. 17's pride of no one is more powerful than I am. Yeah. Love it. I love this.
That was an interesting well, 16 says he's even more powerful than you. 17. So there's a lot of assumptions there. So one, how does 16 know how powerful 17 and 18 are? Because they don't have energy. Mm-hmm. Does this mean 17 is more powerful than 18? Seems like it. Does it mean 17 is more powerful than 16 as well? Like it raises a lot of questions, or is it because 17's pride would be affected, so 16 said that? Very interesting comment. I agree.
I love that. I just love that scene. I just love seeing everyone's reaction. I think that's what Dragon Ball really does shine. Sometimes when they show the characters like that, I think stuff like that shows who the characters are because it shows everyone's reactions and they're all different. They're all just completely different from one another about what they're thinking at that moment. This is why I think people love this show is the characters.
Piccolo here, though, or the Namek that shall not be named, is very strange, and it's like the junior year of high school or something. It's like, I don't know who Piccolo is. I am this new person, and you're mistaking me. That was my emo phase.
It's the same thing he did with Neo. I think one episode he says that too.
It's just funny to do with Cell. Like, you don't even know who this guy is. Why are you telling him about it?
I mean, this is why you hope one day if there's movies that they can also kind of like, I mean, it's dumb, but like it's also like movies they can kind of joke about that. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, you know, like he doesn't care what your name is.
I think different than most enemies who immediately it's like, how could you ever take Frieza? Like, you know, it's like this character is introduced as being weaker, but like there's some cutting or some weird sabotage that's happening underneath. And I think that's the common thread in this saga so far that I noticed is that you can never actually face the threat. The threat is tomorrow. Right? Like maybe this is like more philosophical, but it's like you're worried about the androids coming. Then you're worried that they're even stronger and you need Goku. Then it's this new thing. It's like constantly, actually the thing you're fighting is not the worst part. It's like the chance of what's going to happen in a couple days or what's going to happen next and trying to fight tomorrow. So a lot of uncertainty in life, and Toriyama addressed that well in this saga. So it ends with Cell doing a Kamehameha.
Cell starts doing the Kamehameha, which is like surprises the heck out of Piccolo, and I think starts explaining more things to him, and then I think it starts explaining who Cell is. What did you guys think about Cell though? Did you guys like this? Like, this is an actual way to introduce a character where like there's a lot of mystery around this character, and similar to Trunks, like you want to know more. I think that helps a lot. It's like instead of like having everything just told to you in a second, like Frieza's this Prime Lord. It's like, well, who is this guy? What is he? What's his backstory? He just looks cool.
And I'll say, since you did the intro, I can do an outro.
Yeah.
If you could have chosen a character to encounter Imperfect Cell for the first time, who would you pick? Would it have been Piccolo, or do you think someone else would have made it a more interesting?
Could you imagine Goku fighting him? What would that even look like?
Yeah.
Like what? Goku's like,
Goku.
Dude, the minute that Kamehameha is coming out, Goku's face would be so happy. Like, oh my gosh, this is my dream. What is happening right now? But anyway, leave your comment and your fan stuff below.